Do you ever wonder why President Trump, after being accused of crimes and being accused of sexual assault and rape and who knows what else, but do you know why he garnered more support after all of these accusations and trials and all these lawfare games were played? You want to know why? Because there are more people who can relate to what happened to Trump today than ever before. I remember when it happened. I remember hearing about the law. It was on a radio broadcast. Maybe it was while I was driving around with my grandpa or something. And see, he'd listen to Paul Harvey. My grandfather would listen to Paul Harvey all day long. I loved it. I love Paul Harvey. Every time I hear Paul Harvey's voice, it makes me feel like I'm with my grandpa. It's great. But I remember it was sometime in the late 80s, maybe early 90s. I'm not exactly sure. But I remember when they changed the domestic violence laws, that if 911 is called to a domestic violence call, that somebody has to go to jail. That it's just the rule. Somebody has to go to jail. And I remember thinking, as a kid, and I think I was in high school, but I remember thinking like, that could get interesting. Like, how do they determine who's really at fault? How do they determine who's really the aggressor? And I thought, God, are they only going to take men to jail? I mean, are they ever going to believe that a woman abuses a man? Does anybody think that a woman is better at anything than a man? What would you say? Can a woman do anything better than a man? Yeah, you're right. Ladies, how many things can you do better than a man, right? Maybe it's just because I live in a blue state, and maybe there's just more blue women here than other places. I've always liked a woman who's strong, has an opinion, will push back. I've always liked a strong-headed, intelligent woman. Where I lost it with women, where I just gave up on women altogether, when logic went out the window. My first wife, we were together for almost 19 years. And for the first probably 2 years of our relationship, we never had an argument. Ever. It was great. It was exactly what I wanted in a relationship. No drama, no bullshit. And then right about 2 years and a month, I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember specifically where we were at, what we were doing. And she turned to me and she said, it's really weird. We never really argue. And I went, yeah, that's weird. That's not weird. That's amazing. Why would you want to argue? I grew up with arguing. I grew up with screaming. I grew up with parents that were yelling and screaming and drinking, and I wanted to get away from all that shit. Well, ever since that little drop a note, that's where it all began.